this year.
Yeah, well, they
Okay,
won,
yeah.
they won their,
Yeah, they're in the
Now-
NCAA.
Yeah,
They got a number
yeah.
one seed in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
NCAA. Yeah,
What
Yeah.
division?
one.
won, oh, yeah.
It's a Division I school.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
First time ever, I think.
No, they won 2 national championships
Yeah,
back
oh,
in the
I remember.
nineties. Yeah,
Okay.
but they had a pretty bad team for the last until last year.
What they gotta do is.
Where they have a lot of kids from Canada.
Yeah, actually, I don't think there's any kids from Maine, actually. Yeah, there's some kids from New York and
Hey,
Massachusetts.
how about that flag kid for Duke? He's.
Oh, yeah, he's
a
from
little
Vermont,
tiny
yeah.
town. No, from Maine.
Oh, that's right, yeah, from
Yeah,
Maine that's
yeah, yeah.
playing for Duke, yeah, yes.
Pretty
yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus, George.
We cannot hear you.
Ask all to unmute. I remember you had to say that, you had to do that, right, Danielle? Yeah,
No.
ask them to unmute, right?
Yes.
Yes,
I think it said that now.
Yeah.
So my hunch was right about down the street.
oh, yeah, exactly. At least it's small enough so we can
Right.
schedule ahead of time and.
Yeah.
So,
What's
yeah,
that?
there's a water leak right out
Yeah,
here
right.
and, and so they sent out a notice.
Oh,
They're gonna
that's
shut off the
That's
water.
right here.
Yeah,
That's
that,
what,
yeah,
Jimmy Benson and I were talking
Yeah.
about it, and then he got Carl involved and,
yeah,
yeah.
that's the kind you like to have, because you, at least you can notify people that we're gonna be shutting the water off, so they can prepare
When are you
for
doing that?
Thursday morning.
Thursday morning.
Yeah,
Oh, you're good.
Yeah, I'm.
Yeah.
North.
yeah,
Well, I'm north of it too, but I still got the
yeah,
announcement.
I'm not.
You know.
Gentlemen, can you hear me and see me?
Fortunately, we can't, fortunately, we can't see you yet.
Well, we
Well,
could, if you weren't blocked out by the venue thing. but-
Sorry, I'm trying to.
Yeah,
So
we're
north,
getting-
myself.
so the north won't be, don't you, where's the shut off? They can't have. that
it's,
many-
I think it's right up, there's one right up by Hibbard Point.
Oh,
I
so that
think.
is, I'm south
Right,
of that.
yeah, yeah,
That's point, yeah.
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 Hey, George.
Hey, how you doing, everybody?
Well.
Good.
But you can't see me or you can?
Yeah, we can see you,
Unfortunately now
but
we
you're
can't.
taking up the entire monitor. It's pretty impressive.
Well, that's a little overwhelming.
Yeah, we noticed that.
You've looked better, I think.
Put it in the corner in a remote spot.
Are you really
Very
sick,
large monitor.
George?
What?
Are you really sick?
No, he's on vacation.
Say, he's not around here. He's got green trees in the
I'm
background.
kidding.
I'm in like a hurricane prone island, Sanibel Island,
Okay.
Oh,
where there's maybe 10 palm trees still standing.
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah. And only 65% of the hotels have come back in 3 years.
yeah.
That's right. That's true.
But yeah, my next door neighbors just spent the month of February on Sanibel. They loved it. You know,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
not way back then.
Diane's sister
Yeah,
has it.
just far fewer people, but I tell you,
Yeah.
it's employing a
Nice.
lot of people working on, construction stuff. It's
Yeah.
unbelievable. I've never
Yeah.
seen so many people working. It's good.
The time.
But got 1 minute more or less.
I don't think Warren's gonna make it. He's been working in Randolph,
No,
Okay, yeah.
so.
we have a quorum.
Yep, we do.
You work all over the state?
Does he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, he does.
Well, he works for
New England Air.
New England Air,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I thought he had his own place. His
Oh,
own-
that's on the side.
Okay,
Yeah.
and that's the plumbing piece, right?
Yeah. That's what he does for New England Air too.
Oh, it is.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know they did that.
Yeah.
Well, HVAC,
What?
HVAC,
Yeah, yeah,
he's plumbing for HVAC.
yeah, that's right.
He's worked for them almost 30 years.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
It's nice.
So,
They must treat him well.
oh, yeah.
You're good.
I hope he's taking his oath.
If
If he's
not
been-
yet, that's why he's not here.
You took your oath, right? Okay, all right.
The only one that has.
Oh, he has not?
Well, he's,
Oh, well,
you know, town hall is closed.
On Saturdays.
yeah.
So,
Yeah,
Not open on the weekends, so we can make it in. Okay, hopefully it's 7 o'clock.
close enough.
Call this meeting to order. Are there any adjustments of the agenda? Speak now or hold your peace. Okay, planning commission reorganization, elect chair and vice chair.
I would like to go out on a limb and say I would like to elect Andy to come back and be the chair and have Mike as the vice chair. That would be my recommendation.
Mike would say yes, because, well, I got cancer for Christmas and it's starting to, all the medications are starting to get to me. So Andy and I have talked.
We have talked,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
I would be willing to take it over, but you know, maybe one of the others here are interested as well.
You've done a good job in the past.
I think so.
Well, I appreciate that, and I think I appreciate that
I
what
think-
Mike's done for the past year, and I'm expecting some assistance from you
Of course.
as we move forward, and Danielle.
Yeah, that's my nomination to you is not a reflection on how you've done it for, by any means. I liked your leadership the first year and I like leadership this year. I just, think with what we have going on, it would be great.
Well, if,
Yeah, you know, the other thing too, just to add something to it is that having, seen Andy and Mike, I think it's a lot more work than I think people actually realize. And,
yes,
um,
it is.
And I think given a year long, we should always reassess and
Yeah.
think about somebody else. But I think the continuity with Andy being chair again and Mike being vice chair is a really good thing. And I would strongly second the motion that David
Well,
just.
I don't think a motion's been made yet.
Oh,
officially.
okay.
Uh,
You want to make a motion, David?
Well,
Yeah, I make a motion that, Andy comes back as the chair and Mike is the vice chair. If Mike is able to do that, if he's up.
Oh, yeah.
for it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm. Okay,
as point of discussion, I'm gonna continue my goal, at least the next 6 months,
good.
is to get all of these changes we've done into one document.
Okay,
thank
Do
you.
up a cover letter and get it ready,
nice.
for review. Good.
Sounds good.
So now
Do I hear a
now
second?
you can second if you'd like.
All right, so I'd second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I'll abstain just so I'm not voting for myself, but
Okay.
that's fine.
I now turn the meeting over to Andrew.
What, no, let's, no, I'm gonna, you did this agenda. As the chair, I'm gonna delegate,
As
I'm gonna delegate the remainder of this meeting to the vice chair.
As I recall,
And I-
last year we did that.
Yeah.
And you had to finish the meeting.
Yeah, so
Unless we want. Pat
one
to
good
do
turn
it.
deserves another, so
No, try that.
go for it, Mike.
Okay. If I can read it.
Well, congratulations.
Thank
Andy.
you.
Formal adoption of the planning commission rules of procedure, and again, we need this. I felt, we need to sign this if it's not.
Yeah, I think what happened is we all signed, we approved it,
Yeah.
except for Pat, that she wasn't on the commission. But, so we all signed it
Right.
about a year ago, but somehow it never got posted.
This is the
anywhere.
one that took a long time for us to agree.
Yes,
Right.
yeah,
Right,
and that is in here.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
should be the next one.
Well, let's just pull out a blank one and we can all.
Fine.
And have you had a chance to look at that, Pat?
Yeah, I have a question about it.
Yep.
The rules, and it is on the second page about agendas. Maybe it's just me, and I'm probably just not doing it right, but I tried to go online to the town and pull up an agenda for this meeting. I've seen that they're past, I've looked at the past agendas and the
Mhm.
past minute meeting, but I just probably, I couldn't find it. Maybe I went to I bet I went. to
I
the
can help you.
website.
I posted it Friday, but
Yeah,
but
but.
there are a lot of weird things.
Yeah, okay, maybe you can show me
But
how to do
absolutely,
it. Cool, because I think that's really an excellent thing, and I was thinking if I were just a member of the community, I'd want.
Yeah, and
And
it is
for some reason, I
confusing
wanted to know
because
that.
it's, the agendas are not where you think they would be when you go to the meeting.
Okay,
They're like in a different spot, and if you hit agendas and
Okay.
then you hit
I'll
planning
show you what
commission.
I've got, and then later. in
Yeah,
the-
absolutely,
cool.
and I
Well,
can do
you
that for
really said-
anybody if there's ever
Okay.
any question about that.
Yeah, no, great, I appreciate you
And-
getting it.
And just so you know, Pat, this kind of mirrors the select board rule of
Yeah, I
procedures. They're
saw a
very
couple of
similar.
other ones, yeah.
And a lot of this stuff is dictated by the state
Yeah.
open meeting law as well.
Yeah, no, yeah, that was my only question.
Yeah.
I did read it, so, yeah, thank you.
So then I will make the motion that we reapprove our rules of procedure. And that we all sign a copy, turn it over to Danielle, who can properly post it.
I second it.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Sorry, Bobby, were you second? Did you second?
Yes.
This would be the third time I've signed this.
Yeah.
Because the first time was with Mike Johnson.
Are we all gonna sign one?
Yes.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Okay.
And George, you'll have to,
Which one am I signing?
well, we can probably email it to George, have him sign it and,
Sure.
yeah, we'll figure that out.
Okay, all right,
We
that
have to
sounds
get, we have
good.
to get Warren to.
And
sign.
we'll have to get Warren to sign it too, but
Okay, good.
So we'll leave
Well,
it.
maybe hopefully I can have Warren sign it when he comes in to take the oath.
oh, perfect, yeah.
Andy signed a different, you signed a different copy, right?
I signed a copy that
Okay, if you signed a
Can
copy.
you, yeah, I did. Can you guys sign them? Can sign that?
How many?
How many we got?
Wait, Andy, you didn't sign that.
Well, I signed a copy. If it wasn't the copy, I will sign the copy.
2 on this one, so if there's 3 on that one, let's keep that one.
You're. Or you want us to sign?
Anyone has not signed this yet?
I signed one.
I signed one, but
You get to sign.
You 2, I think.
I have to sign it. Okay, I can do that.
I took this, next one from the last March, agenda. So I don't know if things have changed as far as signing of time cards. I remember somewhere back that.
Yeah, it's not really time cards. We get a statement quarterly from the Regional Planning Commission, and it goes to me and Diana for Danielle's time. So,
Okay, so we need to authorize you.
well, I'm kind of already authorized in the contract as so,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So just
All
continue.
right, so
Yeah,
we just
right.
fast rate it out. Open meeting law highlights. I couldn't find that one pager.
Well, it's gonna change some this year, and
Oh.
Corinne's gonna reach out to all of us. There'll be some kind of an online,
Training.
training.
She told me every 3 years, but unless it's new, if it's new, then maybe it'll have to be.
No, if you are reelected.
You have to.
Oh, is that true?
Yeah, if you're reelected or if you're a chair,
Okay,
a chair has to,
How about a vice chair?
I don't think so.
I'd like the vice chair. I think the vice chair should.
What?
I think every year I've been
Well,
on this committee, I've had to take that.
Let's see what comes out if the rules or if it's gonna be different, the select board may want all of us to take the
Right.
training.
Yeah,
if
if it's different.
If it's different than it's been in the past, but we'll hear something from Corinne.
And of course, requirements for executive session. It has to be, in our case, it has to be personnel, and we don't have any personnel. So we don't go into executive session.
In general.
Well, Danielle
I
is
mean,
personnel.
Yeah, I mean, we could.
Technically, I mean,
Yeah.
But she's not.
Just the clerk.
fair enough.
Andy, it was back a ways. I remember there was an opening for a planning commissioner position, and me and a few others had to interview for that.
Yes,
was
that
that-
was executive session.
That was executive session. Okay.
When we voted on it, yeah. As
Yes.
I recall, the actual interviews were open meeting,
Open meetings, but.
but our discussion and votes were in executive session.
Okay.
So that would be one example of when we might
Okay.
use it.
Emails, we got caught on this last year.
One time, yeah.
One time, yeah,
Yeah,
that, we cannot form an email chain outside of the commission. Once it goes to 4 members on the email chain, that becomes a meeting.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
but
So-
And
Same
again,
thing at a bar.
yeah, it'll. And that'll be covered in the open meeting training. It's okay to send emails if you're distributing information or, you know, maybe scheduling a meeting or whatever, but. Yeah, as far
Oh,
as
I see.
making any kind of discussion back and forth, that's a no-no.
But we can send, for example, we can send a question to Danielle.
Oh, sure.
Oh,
And
yes.
it's always singular. I mean-
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
as long as we don't,
Okay.
yeah, as long as you're not
It's
talking
involved
about a
a
quorum.
discussion of I even forget what it was, but I know I would have been the fourth one in on it. And I couldn't even comment, gentlemen, were on, because if I had commented, we would.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Okay, and required training for certain PC members, we're gonna find that out for Corinne,
yeah.
but in general,
At a minimum, it'll be me and Pat
and Warren.
and Warren, because that's right, he's newly elected or re-elected. Yeah.
Okay,
As am I.
Yep.
the review process.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Timeline for posting PC agendas, that is in our rules that we just signed.
Yeah.
And that we need to have that up 48 hours prior to a meeting.
Mhm.
If we don't, we can't have the meeting.
Yeah, well,
Which is what Pat was bringing.
Yeah, that's what I just
Yeah.
couldn't figure it out.
yeah,
On-
but,
So no doubt it's there. I just don't know. how.
so what that really means is it has to be posted by Sunday night. However, Danielle works 9 to noon on Friday, so that's really our deadline is noon on Friday. to
Yeah,
get
for the,
everything.
yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. And what I do, because I have to post it at the physical locations too.
Right, right,
So I
right.
Yeah.
have it here next door, and then when I leave here on Friday, I go up to Harborside. And I usually put it on the internet that day on the website. But like I said, I'm trying to make sure that the website is in line because it's still a little bit wonky. But it's getting better. And I wanted to mention as far as the minutes, I have 5 days by state statute to put the minutes up after the meeting.
Yeah, so on the minutes, we sort of had, I guess at least an understanding at one point, so. Because we're not required to approve the minutes at the next meeting. A lot of committees do that. We've been doing it. So theoretically, if you post the minutes within 5 days of the meeting, they're a draft. And is that the way you've been?
Yes.
Okay, and then if, assuming we approve the minutes without any changes, you just remove the draft watermark or,
Mhm.
and they become permanent. However, if we make any changes, I think we have to leave the draft and then put the,
And then add, yes.
and is that kind of what we've been doing?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
I did find out, and Danielle is now working on it, that at the time we did the crossover between the old website and the new website, some of our 2024 information did not get transferred properly.
Mhm. We're missing a few months of
Yeah.
data in there up till
Yeah.
October.
Yeah.
And was happy to find that the one that was the NRPC was not my posting.
Yeah, I was wondering how that got in there.
That's before I even was on board.
So, are you able to eventually locate the missing?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I had written those minutes because it's been a
Okay.
year now since I've been here.
Yeah.
I think this meeting.
Okay,
So, I do have copies of them, so it's just a matter of me getting them up on the
Okay.
website so that they can be accessed.
I think what the new website is great.
Good.
As far as being able to navigate.
Yeah.
On the site.
agreed.
Okay, our regular meeting schedule is the fourth Tuesday of every month
At 7.
at 7 PM. Again, and that was it's all in our rules and procedures.
Yep, so apparently, I guess we're still all good with that. Yeah, I'm
Review,
okay.
planning commission.
And yeah.
Yeah, the one that I missed on this, but fortunately. Other citizens in the town have come forward on it, is the capital improvement plan. That I just don't see that we would have enough time and expertise to be able to do that, and I'm glad that we have people who have stepped up.
Yeah, we've got a separate committee for capital improvements, which is a good thing, but, and again, they're still gonna ultimately come through the planning commission, at least like they did
Yes.
last year and make a
Yeah.
presentation to us, so that works fine for me.
Mhm.
I have applied to be on, there's a spot
Oh,
on,
good.
Oh, that would be great. if
so,
we- yeah.
but not, I didn't say, because I'm I didn't say I was like an official, a representative from, I just said I'm on the planning commission. I didn't say I was, that I speak for the planning
Yeah.
commission.
Oh,
I
sure.
don't without, without your permission.
Yes,
I
Without,
was under the impression that we were part of that. Weren't we supposed to be a part of? the-
yes.
Yeah, we should have had
And
a
the
member.
And we were supposed to be driving that, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, according to the Vermont statute.
that's
yeah.
what I thought,
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah, that's what.
However, we did, the problem is that they meet on the fourth Wednesday of every month.
Yeah.
And so does the Northwest Regional Planning Commission.
Right,
But now if we have Pat on that.
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah,
that'd
we
be
should-
great.
So
Yeah,
would she be the planning commission rep? then?
Well,
That's the way I would see it, but
I was just doing it as a person, not.
Yeah,
But I'm
which
gonna
is fine. It's just,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever, I'll do whatever. I mean, I should go and see what they say. I don't even know if I'm on it, because
Yeah.
I haven't been appointed. I just submitted a letter,
Good,
a
Great.
request.
excellent.
Yep.
Yeah.
You were going to be drafted.
Oh. Lisa was here at one of the
Yes.
meetings that I attended and she said, well, you are.
That's who was going to draft it.
Oh.
Because I said, hey, I can't be in two meetings at the same time.
Not easily, no.
Okay,
just
Yeah.
before we get off responsibilities, just to clarify, so our responsibility is to draft the town plan and the development regulations. We do not have the authority to approve either of those. But we do have the,
We have to write it.
we have to write them, yeah. Right. I just want to make that clear. that-
yeah, I know.
Mm.
It's always been a little bit of a bone.
would you inform Pat what the process is to be able to?
Oh,
to
okay,
get
well,
the-
and we're gonna be getting into that pretty soon with, our updates that we've been talking about. So essentially, we'll make any proposed changes, agree on it here at the planning commission. We'll need to have a public hearing. And then at that point, we turn it over to the select board. They're free to make minor changes. They have to have at least one public hearing. And as of 2 years ago, they have the authority to approve it. Any changes to the regulations. Before that, it had to go out for a vote.
Oh, wow.
Now the select board they can either choose to decide on it themselves, or they can still elect to put it out to vote. So, in a nutshell, that's how it works for both the town plan and the development regulations.
If they make changes, those changes have to come back to us.
If they can make minor changes, if they make major changes, then it has to come back to us.
What about this in the Vermont statutes online, this
Yep.
document that was in that, and there was a yellow highlight about undertake capacity studies, that's
That's part of the
Huge.
capital improvement, yeah.
Capital
that's a
improvement.
huge
Yeah.
undertaking,
Yes, that's,
right?
yes. And some planning commissions and some municipalities have staff.
I was gonna say, that's, I would, or you hire someone.
Yeah.
consultant, because that's a,
Yeah, that requirement has been in the statutes for a long time. Never even recognized here in North Hero until the capital improvement committee was developed.
oh,
And until Greta came and started asking us questions
Right.
about which
Yeah,
capital improvement plan.
right. So,
Excuse me?
Yeah.
All right, have we covered everything as responsibilities?
think so.
Not, I think everyone's read that document. Conflict of interest policy, I put that in here. This is actually the town's conflict
Yep.
of interest policy. And we all must adhere by it.
Yep.
Accusing ourselves, should we have a conflict?
Yep.
Zoom meetings, do we want to run through everything on this so far? We haven't been bombed, so.
No,
Oh, we read that.
yeah, we read
If
it.
Everybody read it.
I talked to Corinne today. She recommended that, at least one person besides Danielle, go through the learning process on it.
Is she gonna provide training?
Yeah, well, yeah. But just so you know, we also have an option, is just make all of our meetings, in person.
Right.
oh,
Yeah.
I think we should, I don't know,
Go.
just one person I would recommend we keep the Zoom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so-
But apparently, some of the other committees in town have opted to go to exclusively in-person meetings.
Well, hopefully we-
So
So how is that
Are
with
they
the open
talking-
meeting law?
Yeah.
Oh, you can, no, you can do it.
You can.
Yeah,
What are
yeah,
they-
we're having hybrid meetings and that's
Yeah.
covered by the open meeting law. But no, you absolutely can have exclusively in-person meetings.
Really?
And then
Yeah.
anyone can show up, is that how they get around?
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, as long as it's a physical location that anybody can show
And
up.
even anyone can come on Zoom.
Yeah. And
Right, any city. Right.
And like the last ditch, effort, if all else fails, if you're getting Zoom bombed and nobody knows what to do, you can just end the meeting and then restart it in a little while. Because if you don't restart it, then you have to actually like cancel the meeting, reschedule it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
exactly.
really? Huh.
Reschedule, yeah.
Yeah.
But I know how to, so like I'm a co-host right now. And I gave myself permission to be that, and so everybody's in a waiting room, so as a co-host, I can. If that person comes on and starts bombing us, I can take them out, put them in the waiting room,
Ah,
and we can continue the meeting.
excellent.
Oh,
So,
really?
and it's
Yeah.
not really hard, and I did print out the
Solid.
directions
Yeah.
on how to do that, so we'll just leave them here.
Yeah.
And then in case anybody ever needs them, but I'm happy to train whoever on it. Like I said, it's easy. I just did it for the first time today, so.
And much to the chagrin of some boards. We were always happy to have audio. Now we have an audio video,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so everyone
Yeah,
can
well,
look
that's
at us.
the other thing, even if we have in-person meetings, we still are required to do the audio.
How is that done?
We'd still use this,
Oh, okay.
Zoom,
just,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
the Zoom
do
option
it
wouldn't
with
be
that.
there.
Yeah.
So we could continue a Zoom meeting. I mean, we could continue.
People
the
just
meeting.
can't join
Right,
via Zoom.
right, exactly.
Oh.
Yeah, this would only be used for recording.
But we're not gonna do that.
Sounds
No.
like
No.
we're in agreement that we're gonna continue hybrid meetings, so.
Yeah, I think that's the best way.
Yeah. I do too.
Okay.
Okay. Let's go to the minutes.
I'm concerned I didn't add the minutes to this packet.
Well,
I didn't see him.
I saw them.
I see draft minutes here.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
Oh, I did, okay.
Yeah. good.
There.
I don't see him.
Yeah, no, they were in the email version at least.
Yeah, I didn't see
Yeah, I saw that.
Anyway, so I would make the motion to approve
Yeah.
the minutes of the February 25th meeting.
A second.
Okay, before, are there any changes to minutes? Before we vote? No? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? No? This one, I think I'm gonna fill out my version. Cause it's, so everything is changes in red and I can see. it
Okay.
here. I barely see anything. You see what the
Oh,
changes?
could I just bring one thing up, that, back to the Zoom? I noticed, because I've been using Zoom occasionally for attending meetings. I notice on our website, under the Planning Commission, there's no link to the Zoom, for the public. And, where the link is, where I noticed was on the agenda, but not on our page that describes the Planning Commission. And I was looking at other, like DRB, I was looking at others, they have the Zoom link right there. So it's something I think we should put on
Yeah.
our page on the Planning Commission for the public to be able to readily access it if they need to.
I noticed that too today, George, and I didn't have a chance to look back and see if it's on other months' meetings, but I noticed that it wasn't on today and I'm not sure why. And
Okay.
I don't post that, so, but I'll make a note to
Well,
check out
In
why that is.
Corinne's memo, she says she took it down.
Oh,
Yeah, that's what I remember.
Right.
Don't we have to come up with a new Zoom link for every meeting? We can't.
That's what I was gonna ask. Isn't there a unique link for each meeting?
that I don't know. I
There,
thought-
there has been a unique link for each committee,
Right.
but I'm
Right.
thinking that we have to have a new link for every meeting.
I think,
Not yet.
I
Not
think
yet.
that we don't have to have a new, I think they made this new link with new parameters.
Ah, okay.
But I'll
Yeah.
find that out for sure, like, for example, waiting room requirements and
Okay.
things like that,
Yeah.
but I'll find out about that.
Okay.
Thanks.
read this one.
Another one, the rest,
Red.
you got it, yeah.
Okay, the next on our agenda. Changes to 6.4 plan.
Well,
unit
wait,
development.
you skipped over the ZA report.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All three items, was it?
Yeah.
Pretty slow.
Yeah.
I had a lot of people coming in for advice about permitting, which I think will be reflected in the March. MMA, but basically just one decision that was written from a DRB meeting. And then 2 permits that I issued for ADUs, accessory dwelling units. And that's it for February.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot more accessory dwelling units in town.
Well, there's 2 more,
Yeah.
yeah, but I mean, I think people are maybe looking at going that route, yeah.
Yeah.
Is this, you think it's a plan or a thought that people are gonna do VRBO or,
That I don't know, no one has asked me specifically about
or
it.
Airbnb?
Actually, these two in particular that I know are for family, so they're not, unless, you know.
Right.
Who knows
Well,
what
yeah,
people tell
right,
me,
yeah.
but
Yes.
as far as I
Yeah,
know,
I mean,
those are
yeah.
specific circumstances for family.
Yeah. And I
Visiting.
just didn't know if
Right.
North Durham had a
Yeah.
zoning issue or thoughts about. That's for another topic, I'm sure.
We've discussed it in the past. Right now, we have no regulations for or for short-term rentals.
Mhm.
We're kind of counting on the state to come up with some statewide rules, but I mean, one of the reasons we don't have any way to really enforce it right
Yeah.
now, so.
Interesting.
Except by going on Airbnb and
And looking,
up North.
Right.
Carolina.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
but
I
there's
mean,
more websites than just Airbnb too, so,
Yeah.
yeah, it's,
okay, I just.
And the state just passed, however, a 1% local option tax. Whether the municipality will say, okay, we'll buy into that for increased. Yeah, I don't know how much it would raise, but it would raise enough for enforcement, then they might look at it.
yeah, I don't.
I don't see.
Yeah, if you, Grand Isle, I think, just went through that. They had to, you have to have a town charter in order to impose the extra 1%.
Oh.
They didn't have one, so they had to do one.
Mhm.
So I assume it'll be the same for us.
Huh.
If we were gonna go that route with the extra 1% sales tax.
Give me an idea, I did last year demographic review. One of the things that came up, there's about 1,000 dwellings in North Hero.
Uh-huh.
570 of them are seasonal, and about 300 are year round, 300, 360.
Yeah, just thinking, that was really a good study that you should probably send that to Pat.
That would be interesting.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, that was something that we've discussed at previous meetings too, right, is putting something in the bylaws about conversion from seasonal to year round.
That, yeah, that's exactly.
If it requires a permit.
It,
Well, we have it listed on our fee schedule,
Mhm.
but we don't actually have a permit or require a permit in the laws for it right now.
but that's one of the
But that's
updates.
one of
is-
the-
yeah,
I think that's
Uh-huh.
gonna be.
But it should be.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
that's-
and yeah. I think
Because of
that's for sure.
septic and water.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
in terms of demand on
Yeah.
services.
And just one more thing to confirm, Pat, again, the state dictates a lot of these rules. The state has said anybody that wants to build an ADU can, as long as there's sufficient water and wastewater capacity.
Mhm.
So we can't, in other words, we can't
Yeah.
restrict.
Right, right, no, I read it.
And I noticed, wink, wink, that one of the applicants got rid of a bedroom or probably a
saw that.
bathroom,
Mhm.
I saw that too.
so
Yeah.
that the
So-
ADU could be
Mhm.
built and put into the present water system.
Right, so it complies with wastewater. capacity,
Right.
Yeah.
To get rid of the bedrooms, you can have 500 bathrooms. but
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the bedrooms.
It's regulated
Which
by
way-
bedroom.
By
Makes a
bedroom.
lot of sense.
Yeah,
And-
probably.
And then the other thing you got, that's gotta be
Right.
considered.
Yeah.
If somebody's adding it, they need to go to the water department because
Yes.
the billing may go up. for-
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So now how does that work? If you've got a 4-bedroom house, then you do a 2-bedroom apartment?
I'd say that
I mean,
2-bedroom
and you
would
get-
probably be a half of,
Yeah, but in order for your septic to,
oh,
no, you see what I'm saying?
yeah, no,
So then it
but you
would
still gotta
still
go
be
to the
one?
state. for
Right, you go to the
Septic.
state
All I'm saying is, as far as the town water
for your ERU.
for your ERU, if you're adding another residence, you should be paying more for more ERUs. And just, that's equivalent residential unit, which is basically a one-family house. We don't have meters here.
Oh,
and
right, right.
So it's
right,
just
everybody-
basement, so, you know,
So
right, that's fine.
like I've got a 4-bedroom house. And if I wanna take 2 bedrooms out of my house and build a 2-bedroom apartment like the Puringtons are doing here. That shouldn't change my ERU.
we look at it case by case, and we had a very similar one that came through and we did not change their ERU.
Right, okay.
Yeah, but it's
mean, it's
case
the
by
same,
case, yeah,
yeah.
you know, yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. Now we can go on to unfinished business, which
There we go.
comes to us from well, first is one that Andy did.
The plan, yeah, that's based on our
Planning
discussion.
development,
Yeah.
And the change here is under B, which says that be on a lot that located in both rural lands and shoreland districts, provided that a minimum of 75% of the total land of the lot is located within the rural lakes lands district. And any development within the shoreland district portion of the lot shall comply with all regulations that apply to that district.
I think that kind of reflects where we left it last meeting, but
Yeah.
it's still open for discussion, obviously.
I open it for
Andy, how did
discussion.
Andy, how did you come up with the 75%? I forget.
Hold it out of the air. It just seemed
All
like
right.
a good number. Okay, so
Okay.
that's what I'm
Right.
saying. That's open for discussion. Maybe,
Okay, yep.
maybe it only needs to be 50%, maybe it should be 80%, 90%, I don't know.
Okay,
but,
all right.
Yeah,
The other part of it, George, was that there was a sense of the committee that PUDs in the shoreland district wasn't, on itself, wasn't a good idea, and second,
Okay.
we didn't know how it would actually be developed anyways.
yeah, and that's why we left the paragraph about any development within the shoreland district has to meet all the requirements of that district. Well,
So, any other discussion? David, you look like you want to discuss.
No, I don't want to discuss it.
You were shaking your head back. and
No,
forth,
it's just,
so-
no, I thought it was going like this. Yeah, okay, yeah. I think that's what we discussed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right, then, all in favor?
Oh, no, we haven't made a motion yet. Well, I'll make the
I'm sorry.
I'll make the motion that we change the PUD language in our development regulations. Change to 6.4.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any against? Passes. Leave that one. Finally, changes to, this came from this really to me is mainly a technical addition from the Development Review Board as to a draft survey plat. I think most of what I saw in here pertains to, oh, wait a minute, we even have subdivision classifications.
Yeah,
minor amendment, yeah.
yeah, I mean, I thought these were all fairly minor clarifications. The big thing, the draft survey plat, I think the reason for that, maybe, I don't know if you can speak to this because you've been to the DRB meetings, but my understanding is that you don't get a final signed stamp survey plat until the project's done. So that presented problems for people during the application process.
Oh,
So that's why they changed that to a draft.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. But ultimately, there still would have to have a.
Right, but usually what the DRB does, in my experience so far, is that they'll add that into one of the conditions.
Right,
You know, once they issue the decision, one of the conditions is a final survey plat,
Yeah.
you know, a Mylar must be
Right.
submitted. But it's not required for review by the DRB,
right.
Okay.
Just a draft is.
correct?
Well, right now, it doesn't say draft. That's why
Right,
they
it
want to
says
make
final.
the change. Right, yes,
Yeah, people are having a hard time.
right,
with all
exactly. So, yeah.
that. Yeah.
okay, and then another change to 6.5C regarding minor subdivisions. Subdivisions that create a new lot without frontage on a public road or waterway must be considered as major subdivisions. Boundary line adjustments include those that involve one or more zoning districts. Okay.
And again, I think this is all based
This
on
is just
specific,
modifications.
yeah,
I don't see anything that, actually, there's no new rules here.
not really, no, just clarification.
Yeah, I think it's just technical.
And we have agreed that there'll be, that's it. We've got to get the ones that all the changes that we made in the last year
Well,
need to be codified.
yeah, well, before we move on, so I will make the motion that we accept the DRB recommended changes to section 6.5.
Was there a second?
Yep, second.
All in favor?
Aye,
I,
Any opposed? No.
so Mike, I think that's the last of the ones that we're considering right
Yes.
now, right? So.
'Cause we have to put a marker down and say, okay, we've got enough, we've got
Yeah.
to get this through.
Well, no, I mean, we've gotten the input from the DRB, Danielle has weighed in, as ZA. So I think what we need is a so do we have a comprehensive list in one place?
Not at this point.
Then
That will be the
next meeting, okay,
And that'll be under agenda building,
okay.
which is the other thing for the agenda, Andy, is that Greta would like to speak for us at the next meeting.
And do you know what the subject matter is?
The new land,
Future
Yeah,
land
well-
use mapping.
Oh, okay, yes, yeah,
I think. I was hopefully thinking, oh, maybe FEMA came out with new maps, but.
well, now FEMA's gonna
now
be gone,
FEMA's gone.
yes.
yeah,
Hmm.
Oh, man,
What times do we have?
yeah,
Hmm.
okay, so you and I can work in between
Yep.
now and then and come up with the list of all the items. that
I
we're
was going to do that for this meeting until I ran into problems with the website,
Yeah, that's,
because without minutes, you can't actually get.
and then,
I've got loads of loads of
Yeah.
changes that we did.
yeah, just a matter of putting them all in one place and, yeah, okay.
And then probably.
And then I'll, once we have that, I'll work with Danielle. We gotta do public postings and set up a hearing and all that, which,
Okay.
count on you as PC.
Sherry, never done, I haven't.
No, I've done it. I did it myself last time, so I'm familiar with the process, but glad we have a clerk that can handle all, of course she can. Yeah, there you go. Congratulations.
I do just want to mention that if you guys find that you don't see the minutes online, there is a binder downstairs where all the minutes are printed out if you need to reference them for anything.
Good to know.
Good to know.
It's just less
And
convenient.
I know we've had this,
Looking at-
I know we've had this discussion before and we kind of agreed with it, but this is a lot of paper.
Yeah,
I think I mean, I think we all have said it would be nice to have hard copies, but I'd rather not have hard copies than have all.
well, I think it's mainly the ZA report. that
Correct.
takes- I think if we had just one hard copy of that at the meeting that we could pass,
Yeah, I agree.
or the other thing would be, Danielle sends the agenda out on Friday. Sometime between Friday and this meeting, if anybody has a question on any of the specifics, they can ask Danielle to print out that one. That would be another.
Well, on Friday, I sent out this
Yeah.
entire thing.
Yeah,
And the only reason I'm printing these out is because there have been previously members that have asked for it time and time again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like it in front of me.
you do.
yeah.
So I'm fine.
So,
with
but if we
either
had
one.
one copy that we
Okay,
could hand
right,
around.
So I
Yeah,
would rather not have it in front of me.
But
I
you're
don't
gonna
need
send
it.
it to us
I send it to you
electronically.
Yes,
Any-
every
so
time.
If
Yeah.
we wanna print it
Okay.
at home.
Or you can
so
bring your
not-
computer, you can
or-
bring your
or print
computer.
it
downstairs.
Yeah.
You can even just email me and just say, hey, I want a copy, like at the meeting, and I'll just print one for you.
Yeah.
instead of seven.
Let's plan on just having one hard copy available at the meeting.
I love it.
Okay,
Makes your life easier.
But there
So
are
the trio.
times we have a lot in the
Yeah.
in the agenda because the
Yeah,
members
correct.
need to read.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I guess, yeah,
So you can
Danielle
read
and
it
I
on
can
your
figure
computer.
that out.
But like I said, I'm the clerk, so if you want something, just let me know
Yeah.
and I'll make it happen.
All right,
But even if you did two copies, Warren likes to have it, I think, in front of him too, and so
Yeah.
do you, and if. Even just two copies would be
Yeah.
fine, better than seven, what we
Yeah,
have here.
right, for sure.
I always print out a copy for myself on my computer.
Yeah,
And then
Well,
all
let's-
those
I would do
yellow
that.
things get in there
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I'm doing notes and.
Yeah.
Let's do just one copy for now, see how that goes, and if
Absolutely.
we have to end up doing two.
yeah, all right, let's go.
Is there anything else for the next meeting?
Yes. Well, we're through
Okay.
business, which there is none. We're on the future action items now.
Would that be town?
Plan.
Yeah.
Town plan, yes.
I mean, I have some thoughts on it.
Okay,
But first of all, I think it's a great idea that we go back and review the town plan. We've had that on the agenda for a long time. But I really think it's time for us to think about updating our town plan. There's a new regional plan which is being updated again. There's a
Mhm.
lot of new state requirements out there. And it's gonna affect our development regulations too. So I think once we get these changes behind us, that we really ought to focus on the town plan, see about getting funding to help us out with that process. So, I mean, I think that should be our big focus moving forward.
I think so too, and I'm glad that the chairmanship has changed.
Andy, and you know what we might want to do on the next agenda, the April agenda, is think about how we want to review it. Because given Pat's new coming in, David's been reelected, and David, I don't think we've ever, since you've been elected, even your first term, have we even talked about the town plan?
No.
Well,
No,
So I think, I think we should, versus just kind of scattergun, we should probably think about a process for internally, the commission reviewing it, and then
Okay.
how we want to, proceed forward.
Well, yeah, and let me, as incoming chair, let me make this request, because it's not that long. It doesn't take, let's
No,
all of us
not.
take, between now and the next meeting, take the time to read the town plan.
Mhm.
And maybe make some notes of things we want to discuss, but there's a lot of stuff in there that's already out of date, so.
Yes,
So let's
that's,
make it, you can read it in a half hour or whatever.
that's when I say, like, look at our town plan with all the other changes, it's a lot of state control
Yeah,
over.
and-
people
And a
are
lot
going
of
to
stuff
have to
that's
understand.
changed that is, we're gonna have to address, so.
Now, when they do the town plan again, they go through that whole process of bringing townspeople in, let's have 6 tables.
Well, you have to have it, well, that's up to, we have to have public hearings.
Yeah.
How
Yes.
we,
They had one last time, I remember
Yeah.
that.
how
Could
we
you-
arrange.
could you review, Andy, I think it's Andy, Bobby, Warren, you were on the planning, oh, no, Andy, you were not?
Bobby, I think you were on the planning commission for the last town plan update, is that right? 2020?
yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
Warren, I'm guessing, I was not,
Warren was there for some of it.
yeah.
Yeah,
So I think
Yeah.
we had some, was it Greta, I assume?
Greta came,
And she kind of
right.
shepherded
went
the
through it with
process
us.
for us,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'd be looking for something similar to,
Okay,
get
that
some
sounds good.
professional help to- Yeah.
that's what I mean, some way of like really kind of figuring
And
it out.
every year, the Regional Planning Commission announces there are planning grants available, so I would want to first of all get the grant so we can cover the cost of having a professional here to oversee the process.
That'd be great.
But on the other hand, I really would like to get as much input from the town itself as we can. And,
Absolutely.
yeah,
It would be a good idea to have some meeting this summer to get this summer residents to be able to
yeah,
have
Yeah.
their input into it as well.
yeah.
Is it really clear on the town plan what the state requires? I mean, I'm just almost thinking. like-
Well,
When you read through it, you'll say, boy, I didn't know the town wanted this.
Yeah, it has to comply with state requirements, absolutely.
Well, right, but I mean, but you were saying in some sense, the state dictates some.
A lot of
Yeah.
things, a lot of
So,
things,
I mean,
yeah,
so making that really clear,
yeah.
I mean, someone like me, maybe, I don't,
And-
I don't
It's
know,
hard
maybe
to
the
know
way
what's the
that.
state and what.
Yeah, so that, so. you
But
know,
Pat,
when-
I think, Pat, I think from a lot of other people I know that have been a part of planning commissions in other municipalities, we have a lot of control of shaping
Yes,
what we want within our own town plan. So yes, we have to look at the external thing, the state and other, but I think the town should have the majority input in terms of the
Yeah.
direction of where we want to go.
Right, no,
And-
I would agree with you on that. I just was wondering what, what are the boundaries that they
Yeah.
set? So
Yes.
that you understand that that's out there, the rest of it, we as a town have some say, right?
Yeah.
Full-
and just make sure the regional planning commission needs to approve the
Oh,
town
they do
plans.
it too.
Yes, they do,
Yes.
yeah.
Mhm.
And then there's
Is that
another
Greta?
commission after that.
Well, yeah, she's on the regional planning commission, yeah.
She's an employee, senior planner, but
But,
it goes through a process at the regional planning
yeah,
commission.
well, like tomorrow night, I think we have two town plans on the agenda for
Wow.
approval, Grand Isle and I forget the other one.
Yeah.
The Isle of Monte.
Is, no, I think we already approved Isle of Lot. Anyway, so
We drove there.
it does get reviewed and approved by the regional
So
planning commission.
is your thought at some point you have Greta come?
Yeah,
Process.
whether it's Greta or somebody to shepherd the process,
Right.
which will cost money, but hopefully we'll have a grant to pay for it then.
Yeah, and
ideally.
another, so there's a grant, the deadline to apply is for March 31st.
Yeah,
There's another one that should be coming up in September.
yeah,
Assuming that grants stay in place
Well, yeah.
right
yeah.
now.
See, I wanted to, which is good. I wanted to wait, right now, the regional plan was updated just last year. Now they're going through another update because of state requirements. I would hope to wait until we get the new regional plan. Because whatever we do has to comply with that as well. So that would be the process of the new regional plan, which I think should be done this summer, I think is the schedule. I forget now, but
I think so, yeah.
anyway, then once we have that, we can start our effort. Have all the information we need.
Anything else for this meeting?
I move to adjourn.
Oh, second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
See, now what's gonna, Mike gets his last meeting done in 45 minutes, so my first meeting takes an hour and a half and you're gonna be upset with me.
Oh, okay. Hey, just tell me, Dad, has the lake opened up?
Yes. Yeah.
It has.
Yeah.
Ah.
Thank you.
All right.
Ready to
so-
go, you're ready to come
37
back.
minutes.
Bye-bye, everybody.
See ya.
See you, George.
Thank you, Nicole.
Everybody sign in? No.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so how do I Oh.
2, 3, 4, it should be.
stop the meeting, but I'm still showing up there.
See you guys.
Good night.
See ya.
Okay.